Hey, what's up? My name is Noah, and today I'm gonna do the second part of my Q&A thingy I did for my 4K on YouTube. I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions for me, and these are all the trans-related questions I got, so here we go. And if you don't follow me on Instagram already, my Instagram handle is Noah_Hella. So yeah, if you wanna see more of this face, you know what to do. Oh, I hate myself. Alright, Warpaint Fields asks, I was wondering, because you briefly mentioned this topic in one of your vlogs, how open were they, your psychologists in particular, to you identifying as non-binary at the VMC, which is the gender clinic here in Amsterdam? And did this interfere with you being allowed to start your transition at all? No, it did not interfere with my transition at all. I really had to go into detail about what it means for me to be non-binary, but in the end, I had a very nice psychologist who was very understanding. Sometimes she would say some things where I'd be like, that's not really how this works for me, but I see where you're coming from, so it was fine in the end. Martin1234 asks, if you talk to yourself in your head, which name do you call yourself, birth name or Noah? And how was this in different states of transitioning and coming out? In my head, I call myself Noah. So after coming out, that really fucked me up sometimes, because then I would use my birth name and be like, I don't know, wasn't very nice. But yeah, that just changed over time. What were some names you went by before choosing the name Noah? If you have seen my video on how to choose your name, you would know. But I went by Quinn and Mace. Onandig asks if I've heard some trans people are experiencing more or different kinds of dysphoria while being on hormones than before, instead of being able to deal better with their dysphoria. How's that for you? I guess for me, it's kind of the same. So my voice dysphoria is gone, which is awesome. Sometimes I would still look at my face structure and be like, you know? And yeah, apart from that, everything else is the same. Like, I still have chest dysphoria. I still have, like, the way my body is shaped, dysphoria, I'm not sure how you would call that. And I have bottom dysphoria sometimes. I just try to ignore it most of the time, but sometimes you can't, and then it just sucks. But it's not different than before starting testosterone. I mean, it became better because I started testosterone, but yeah. I hope this answers your question. Normal es aburrido. Have you ever felt scared of looking like a cis guy and maybe seen as a possible threat on the streets? Have I ever been scared of that? Yes, because I do not want to make anyone, feel scared because I am passing. But I don't think people would ever get scared of me. Just because I'm I'm a puppy. That's what a friend of mine calls me. So I don't think people would ever be scared of me. And if they were, then I'll be very surprised, actually. Like, what's there to be scared of, I guess? Elise Kiwi. Which were your fears when starting T, and how do you feel about them now? My fears for starting testosterone, my biggest fear was getting bald. And that's still a huge fear of mine. Because I was afraid that, I don't know, it was irrational. Of course, because fear is irrational most of the times. But that once I started testosterone, that it would fall off just, the next day or whatever. But of course it didn't. So I'm chill about that now. I know it's going to happen at some point. And then I'm just going to try to use some products like Rogaine or minoxidil and see if that works. Because I'm not ready to get bald yet. Oh, really? And another fear of mine was sometimes I can be a bit of a control freak, and I was afraid of how things would change in my body. I wanted to know what was going to happen. I knew it was going to be good, but I wanted to know how it was going to happen. So those were my fears, and I'm not afraid of that anymore, because I'm actually just super impatient about, the other changes to happen. So Barely Human asks, is there a third gender option in the Netherlands. And by that, I think you mean a third gender option in your passport, and there's not. Unfortunately, there is for intersex people, I believe. Some people in the Netherlands, like a few, have an X in their passport because they're intersex. But for non-binary people, there's not a third gender option yet. I hope it's gonna come, but no, not yet. M's Arts 20 asks, are you afraid about how you will feel after your top surgery? I have mild chest dysphoria, but it's still enough to bother me. I'm afraid that I will regret moving that part of me. I'm not scared of that at all. I've known for a long time that I should not have these two little things over there. So no, I'm not afraid of it. Not at all. And if you're experiencing mild chest dysphoria, then yeah, maybe talk with a gender psychologist or gender therapist about this. I'm not an expert, but if you feel that you might regret it, then don't make the decision yet, because you can't put them back. Queerfin asks, have you thought about getting a hysterectomy, maybe together with top surgery? I have been thinking about it, and I know that I don't want to get a hysterectomy yet, because I don't know how I want to have kids later in my life, and I feel if I remove it now, then I don't know, there's less chance of me getting biological kids. So yeah, I'm not doing it yet. Vadar TW asks, how did your name changing period go? How did people react to it? If you want to see that video of the story of how I chose my name, go watch that video. But long story short, I tried 3 different names and ended up with Noah. There were different reactions. Some people were like, this is really annoying, but most of the people were super supportive and started using the new name immediately, and trying to come up with nicknames and that kind of stuff. So that's, I don't know, I really, really appreciate it when people are like that, and I hope they are the same in your life. I'm very lucky. Astronaut Ski says, have you ever had a weird experience because people might assume you as a straight cis white guy now? A girl once got mad at me for looking at her butt when all I was doing is walk a little too close to her unintentionally, lol. Well, the weirdest thing is that people talk to me different. They always say, like, hey, what's up, man? Here you go, man. Like, they really emphasize on the word man. And I like it because it's such a chill way of saying these things. But at the same time, I feel like, what? This is so strange because we don't do that with women. We don't say, hey, what's up, woman? Because that sounds very derogatory. So, yeah, that's a strange thing that happens. So one time, I was in the club, in Club Nix, which is a queer club here in Amsterdam, and I was out with my friend, with a girl, and there was this other girl in the club, and she was staring at me, and at one point I was like, why is she staring at me? Like, are you flirting with me or what is this? And then we just started talking at one point, and she asked me like, hey, are you gay? And I was like, no, not really. I'm trans. So I don't know why I said it, but I don't know. People think it's weird when straight people go to a queer club, which I can understand that. That happens a lot in these clubs, that people think that I'm a gay guy going out there, which I'm not. So hey Noah, I live in the Netherlands as well, so I was wondering if you know any good gender therapist that is also known with non-binary stuff. Thanks in advance. Yes. Well, from what I know is that Stepworks is another like gender clinic, and they're all over the Netherlands, and they're really chill with these kind of things. That's what I've heard so far. Also, the VU is getting better at these things, so the one in Amsterdam, but the waiting list is a year now or even longer. So I don't suggest going there. I would suggest going to Stepworks. What's the Dutch way of saying they, them? We have various options. We use hen. We use die. And that's all the ones that I know, actually. Just 2 options that I know of, but they're probably more than these 2. What was the first change that I noticed starting on testosterone? Edwin asked. What was the first change? I think I got very hungry, and also I started feeling my vocal cords doing weird shit. That started like quite quickly. I don't know, I have to go back to the first video I made about my testosterone update. But yeah, I think it's the feeling in my throat that was kind of like, oh my god, it's starting, you know? So these were all the questions I had about being trans. If you have any other questions, you can always go over to Instagram and ask me. Hope you have a great week, a great day, and I'll see you next time. Later.